Good afternoon again, and welcome to this supplemental video for the sheet metal and framing webinar. What we're going to do now is add a door and a lift cylinder, modify the door, modify some other components, and partially complete this assembly. First thing we need to do is to grab a door. Now, I've used this door before, but it's not quite the right size. I want to mate that face to this face here with a small offset. Let's find 2mm I've used before. I'll align those faces, and then we will just pick up these end faces here, this little end face here, down onto there. That's basically placed that in place, but it's not quite the right size. Now I want to work out how wide I need to make this door, so I'm just going to put a PMI dimension across there. Now I know that there's that's to the outside and it doesn't include those bends, etc. on either side, so my overall door width needs to be changed to be, let's go and edit that. That needs to be changed to be, let's have a look at the assembly behind. What did I say? I think the number's 960, something like that will do. So let's see how we go. Change that to 960. That looks pretty good. Let's go back to our assembly and see how we go. That looks excellent, in fact. So, okay, we've got that door in place. Something else I need to do, there's a little hinge hole in the door, and I need to replicate that hinge hole through into the cover here. So we'll use our features, and what I'm going to do is do a cutout and a assembly driven cutout. So I'm going to do modify this part, this one here, and we're going to use this hole, or this cutout here, to drive that. It says how far do we want to cut through to there, will do, and that's fine. Okay, we'll finish that. Now what we've got here, if I zoom in, are two concentric holes, and I want to use those to assemble around. In other words, what I want to do is put an axial align on that cylinder and that cylinder, and that's fine. Okay, so just so things will move now, we need to get rid of some, or suppress some relationships. So that's my 2mm offset there, that's an alignment there, I don't need that one, so we suppress that one, and I can suppress that one. Now I'm just getting ready to place my cylinder. I can lift this up so we can place the cylinder in there. But you see, we've got the ability to be able to animate this a little bit, and I can check for collisions and what have you. So the first thing we're going to do is we need a hole to mount our cylinder in here. So to do that, again, I need to do a feature. I'm going to put a hole in here again. Just this time I'm going to put a hole on that face. And about there will do fine. And again, it's the same sort of thing. How far through do you want it to go? And that's done. Okay. So I'm going to find my cylinder assembly, lift cylinder. There it is. And this has got some limits built into it already. This so it doesn't. It can not overextend. So there's a limit in the travel built into this, and we'll see the effect of that in a moment. So I want to mate the inside of that to there, and I want a 20mm offset for the little fitting that goes in here. So there we go, and take that cylinder, mate it up to that cylinder. Okay, to make this cylinder adjust, we'll change it into a make the sub-assembly adjustable. That sounds like a tortism. It's not. We have two types of assemblies: adjustable and fixed, and we can change between them. So on the fly. I'm just making this an adjustable assembly, so I don't want to create a part I want to assemble, sorry. Not paying attention, it does help if I pay attention a little bit, so I just want to line up those two cylinders. Now, when we animate this now, we will see the cylinder moving in the transparency there, and there's a limit to how far it'll go. That's as far as it'll go. That cylinder won't extend any further. So now we've seen we've got an assembly with the with our door, our cover, our lift cylinder, and what have you. But we've probably forgotten a few things along the way, so just let me check. So I'll go into my properties, my property manager, and we find for the cover I've forgotten to put a document number in there, so that will be it'll be release A for that. The title is cover, left or right or something. Say OK to that. The other thing that we want to do is inspect our properties, look at our property manager, and we find that we've not put a material on there, and that's stainless, I believe, isn't it? We're back at 304. We'll make the cover 304. Okay, the cylinder's steel, the lift, it's an assembly, the rod's steel, we've got the square tubing as steel, and that's all good, so we'll update all of those. Now the final thing that we have forgotten to do here, and you can see the colours have gone on that, we've got the masses and weights and what have you, is that we need the little feet that belong in here. So I'm just going to turn on the sketch of the truck chassis, and we'll use that to put in our brackets that we created right back at the beginning. So I'll just put the first bracket in here, use our quick pick to find that back plane to mount it onto there. Then all I have to do is find the edge in there and lock it onto that, and it'll line up everything. I'll put another one in so you can see it, so it's not a fluke. Quick pick to find the back face of that to mate onto that face, and then it's just a matter of finding the bottom edge and clicking it onto there. Just do the other two just to show you it's pretty straightforward. Where you don't have things that are logically, you can pattern these if they're patternable, and they could well be, but it's almost as fast to just drag and drop these onto the it was the wrong one. Wait for the dots, and again just find that edge, that bottom edge, mate it onto there. One more. You notice I didn't have to go back to the library because I could drag it out of my edge bar there without having to go and find it in the library again, which makes life a lot easier. You can see assemblies are pretty fast here, so if we fit that again, we don't need our sketches, we can turn those off, turn on our components, and there's our pretty little assembly. We can change the way we look at this as well, so we can take our views, and just as a matter of interest here, I might want to take a view override so that I've got text silhouettes, floor mirror on, things like that, and shadows and what have you. I might turn the shadows off there, the drop shadow, so I've just got a floor mirror on, and you can see that mirrored in the floor there. Okay. So now we've fixed up all our properties. I might go back to our inspect and just look at our properties and update everything to allow for those brackets we just put in. So we've got 268 odd kilograms there. Close that and back to home, save. And now we can do our assembly drawing. I'm just going to do a very quick assembly drawing here just to give you an idea, just a taste of some of these things. So create a drawing. Okay, next I'm just going to take a standard isometric view of the whole assembly there. Just place him in there. We might make it a shaded view too, just to make it look sexier and nicer. As you can see, pretty straightforward. I can rescale that. You know, it's because it's a scrap view, we can use something like that. Okay, that's nice. Now we want to put our parts list in here, and just pop that down over here. And what I've got here is, you'll notice I've got indenting here. So item 13 is our lift assembly, and it's made out of the cylinder and the rod assembly and so on. So we can be, as I said, we can take, I'll just take that out of the road and move these. We can move these around anywhere we want to. We can reposition the arrowheads on them. I'll show you that in a second. Let's take that one. So if we zoom in here, that arrowhead's on here. But if I move it, want it onto there. Still haven't got it in the right place. There we go. As you can see, a very comprehensive bill of materials. It's all correct, all gets updated automatically. We can even see our weight down in here. We zoom in. I haven't got the formatting there quite right. This date, until I save this, will be incorrect. It's a dummy date, but the moment I save that, so as I save that, that's the date that the draft file was actually created. Okay, look, thank you for your attention. You can see some of the aspects of Solid Edge now. We haven't gone through anything like everything that can be in there, but as you can see, it's a very powerful program, and there's no limitations for creating complex sheet metal framing. Once again, thank you for your attention. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to give us a call.